Last year, my dad went absolutely viral for crazy Tomorrowland dances like these. And if you're wondering how I take him there every single year and pay for his tickets, his accommodation, the crazy dances, then stay until the end of this video because I'll show you exactly how I do it right now. Because even in the comments of this video I posted, a lot of people were saying stuff like, I wanna go there, but it's hard to get my hands on tickets. There's massive queues on the pre-sale, and eventually you end up with a bunch of high expenses to get there. And just so you know, my name is Arno Vanmassenhove, and in the last couple of years, I've helped over 200 plus people to go from working harder for money to making their money work harder for them. Because what you probably don't know, you can feel it, you can sense it, you're stressed up about it, but you might not know it, is that traditional money loses about 11% every single year. That roughly accounts for 3% to price inflation and about 8% to actual money supply increases. The worst part is that most of it is hidden for the eye, where you can see things like the consumer price index, but you can look it up with your own eyes. Just look up on Google the US M2 dollar supply and you will be surprised. Now, just to save you some time, here's the actual US M2 dollar supply chart. And during the last couple of years alone, during C19, this entire supply grew over 40% within that time span alone. That is not just a percentage on the news, that is actual theft of your time and your money, because every single minute you spend working harder, trying to get a second job, a third job, whatever, this is just going up and up and up without your consent, without your vote, without your nothing. So you do what most people do, inclusive of my past self. You go to your laptop, you Google a little bit, and you look for ways to make money online. So pretty soon you end up with things like dropshipping, which is pretty lucrative until your entire margin gets eaten by suppliers, by ads, by all these costs you need to carry just to be able to keep it operational. Next up, you can look at things like foreign exchanges known as Forex, where usually you need to sign up through a third-party broker that can do all sorts of things with your money. And again, I'm not throwing stones at any of these business models. They're all lucrative. They're all great. You can potentially make money with them. I did myself in the past as well, until I figured out that you're not fixing the root cause of the problem, which is the money and the value it loses. And even the guys in the suits that invest in things like the S&P 500, Roth IRA, all these traditional major known things that seem safe and secure are barely beating that 11% a year. Just buying and holding on to Bitcoin or Ethereum is not longer going to cut it any longer, because these people struggle as well. They are fully reliant on how volatile the markets are, meaning their income derives from where the market is moving, not the transactional volume that you can see on a 24-hour time span. So even when you decide to do nothing because you feel like that's a little bit safer to you, it's a little bit more known to you, just know you're not standing still, you're bleeding value. And when it comes down to real estate, a lot of people would say things like, well, yeah, but I prefer things I can touch, like the bricks of my home and where I reside. But the point is, crypto being digital can actually give you physical experiences. And the best part is that none of this happens while taking massive risks. It's not like there's a pyramid below you, like there's a person that referred the person and now you make money based on the person. Like, that is just a scam. In fact, there are boring, mechanical, consistent ways that when executed on properly and consistently, they could potentially replace the current income that you're getting from a business or a job. Even though I figured out that the majority of people I work with didn't have that as their ambition at the start, still we're at a point where people are replacing their income right now through something they digitally once started. And since most of you who are watching this video have been burned before, I want to give you the simple 4-step process that I'm using to make money right now and take my dad to Tomorrowland. So the first step is pretty similar to a currency exchange booth in an airport. So pretty simple setup. There's a currency exchange booth. You go from euro to dollar. You are walking in, you are the buyer, and you want to get rid of euro to be able to buy dollars. Now, the cash register in the currency exchange booth needs to be filled up enough for you to be able to go from one asset to the other. Because if there's only $100 left in the cash register, there's going to be a long and frustrated queue that cannot be able to go from one to another. And if they can, there's going to be a massively high fee. So that's what I do. I provide some cash that I put in the cash register to make that transaction a little bit lower for the seller that steps in. So next up, the seller is showing up, and because we filled up that cash register with some money, now they are able to do their transaction faster, cheaper and more efficiently because of that whole action we took. And for that reason, the blockchain is rewarding us with an incentive, which is a cut of all those fees they pay. And this should ring a bell in your mind, because none of what we're talking about here comes down to trading, gambling, buying assets and hoping they're magically going to go up one day. None of that is this. I never even have to invest my own money. Well, besides, of course, doing it for the first time, because since all those years I've been doing this strategy, what I've been seeing is the fees that are landing, I can right away reinvest into this strategy. So I'm never even touching active capital. I generally just use those fees either for lifestyle expenses, like you've seen in this video, or for reinvestments to grow those initials within the strategy. And when you wonder if it's so easy, why isn't everybody else doing it? It's because a simple reason. Most people are wasting their time and effort on just Googling things up. If info was the only answer we needed, we would all be a billionaire with a six-pack. So they're wasting time on meme coins. They're wasting time on trading. They're wasting time on trying to time the markets. They're listening to colleagues, getting into the next fancy thing. You hear it every single day. And when I say it doesn't matter whether the market goes up or down, let me draw a clear picture in your mind. So if this would be a position, there's a upper boundary and a bottom boundary. Now, if we reach the upper boundary, what happens is pretty simple. We take a profit. We automatically go from assets that are moving like this to assets that move in a line. We call these stable assets that lock the value of where we're at. Now, if we go down towards that lower boundary, then of course it's time for action. Then within a 24 to 48 hour time span, it's time for you to look at your position, get the capital out, and then over time reconsider what to do with this money so you can get it to make new fees consistently again and again and again. I know you've seen 1,001 Lamborghini boys talking about this online, the gurus, the bros, the whatever, but here's a screenshot showing the actual numbers. I had consent to share this from a student that shows you exactly what a position here looks like. This is a position that has $42,000 inside. This student is netting 169.29% in APR. This whole idea of a stable asset is not part of this strategy. I want to clarify that. Usually we're netting 40 to 50% over there, but this only shows you that there's more potential upside. And again, I am not the type of guy to guarantee, to promise, to be shiny about these percentages, because at the end of the day, it's not about being a moon boy. It's not about chasing hype. It's about finding something that works now, that keeps working through every single cycle, and allows your money to work harder for you rather than the other way around. And if that sounds like exactly what you want, you could go down below this video right now to book a one-on-one brainstorm call with myself. Disclaimer, these happen with me right now as I record the video. So if you're booking a call right now, you're going to get the opportunity to talk to me right away to go over where you're at right now, what you've kind of been trying before, and where you want to get to financially, mentally, everything in terms of peace of mind and cash flow. And growth doesn't stop when you finally understand this strategy, because when this is finally implemented in your life, there's a bunch of things we could do. One is to reinvest those fees. So simply, when we look at lifestyle expenses and doing great things, I am a big fan of this whole idea of Einstein's 8 world wonder, I guess that's the name, the compounding effect, of being able to put those fees, put them back into the initial and get it to grow on top of itself. That is one of the things we do. A second thing you could do would be to take those fees out and invest them into a bunch of niches. This could be AI, cloud computing, tokenized stocks, whatever you want. It's not longer about taking actively earned money and putting it into a position like that. Now you get the opportunity with money that you didn't even work for in the first place. And the third one is to be able to take those fees and send them to the back of your phone through a virtual card right away. This could even be a physical card, so that now those digital fees give you a physical experience in your life. And here's the best part, because this, unlike any other traditional investment vehicle, is instantly liquid. This means the money that we're making on top of the blockchain, the minute we can see it appearing on the screen is the minute we send it to our phone. This happens through a physical touch of a button for every single student we have. We are not affiliated with a button. We don't know which button. We just suggest a bunch of security tools to them so that now they are the only end user that pushes the button as soon as they want to sign the transaction and get the money liquid. So as a result, they can now send it to their Apple Pay to do crazy dances and join the whole pre-sale of this festival or any other passion they might have. And the benefit benefit of this all is that you don't feel the hit, because most people, when they think about their next vacation, their next car, their next trip, whatever it might be, they calculate in how many hours will it cost me at my job? How many months will I need to work? How many days will I need to either enjoy or suffer based on what the week looks like? And then the best part, the second one, is to be able to give back to those you love the most. I think age is just a number. I think life is all about giving back. You're getting raised by certain people through certain values, whether this is your parents, whether this is yourself, whether this is friends, family, whatever. I believe in giving back a lot. And that is why I love this model. Because essentially, you're buying back time. As vague as hell as this might sound, you're fixing the root cause of your money, losing 11% every single year. And you allow your money to work harder for you so that when you decide to take a break, your money doesn't. And just to be clear, I consult and I educate. I don't take a single percentage on the performance of the money my students are making. Let that be clear. Because all they use are secured and audited platforms without any middleman, without any catches, so that they can be their own bank for the first time ever. And as far as the strategy goes, I know crypto is a pretty lonely space. The people that get scammed never get to see the actual face. There's no guilt there. There's no morale there because there's no face-to-face stuff. Whereas with me and the way I operate, I provide weekly market guidance, teaching exactly where the market is at on a macroeconomical level, on a level in terms of prices of the main core assets out there, as well as how to position yourself with this strategy right now and through every single cycle. We even host dedicated Q&As on top of this all, so that whenever you have a question or you need a screen share, we resolve it by showing you exactly how to do it. So this way you end up getting a clear path and North Star, so you're not longer clueless about where this market is going and know exactly how, when, and where to execute on based on where the market is at and the real-time guidance that we provide. In fact, a lot of the students I'm starting with right now are starting at zero. They want to be able to validate how this all works, what the education aspect looks like, what the sessions end up being about, so they can watch it all unfold and they can generally take action through a one-on-one call. We treat every single student as a person we know, as a friend, as a family member, so that we take on this onboarding form that allows us to understand who you are, what you tried before, and exactly where you want to go to, so there's no question marks and we can serve you in the way you always deserved it. And all of this just goes beyond Tomorrowland, so that once the money is out, you can do whatever you want to do, whether that is travel, transport, visiting those friends and family members you haven't seen in a while in their country, whatever it would come down to. This is the flexibility we're aiming for and currently get with the students we're working with. So if you want to take your loved ones around the world, this goes beyond just Tomorrowland. It's amazing, by the way, but my dad had a dream, which was to go to Italy. So I took him there and we didn't keep it regular. He wanted to see the Colosseum. We took the next level tour, the one that was below the platform. I'm not saying this to flex, by the way. The only type of pride I carry is the pride in the love I have for my dad and his wife and obviously my mom and like everybody that's involved. It feels great to give back. Just look at this this picture in the boat we had over here in Venice. He was doing crazy dances in a freaking boat. We were hanging out with tourists. My lady and I were enjoying the whole trip. It was such a cozy atmosphere. I genuinely recommend the city. And you might think, well, that's good for you guys. Well, let me show you that this is not just about us. It's time to meet Frank, 65 years old. This guy is an absolute legend. When he joined us, he was like, look, I'm going to be straight with you guys. I don't know how to operate a laptop due to my age. It will take some effort. We didn't care. We have a passion to help people, regardless of their religion, their age, their ethnicity. We love helping others. So we took Frank on to work with, showed him how to operate his laptop, how to get the necessary security setup in place, how to go about the strategy. His number one desire was to spend more time with his grandchildren and just look at the picture where he says, sitting around listening to the latest group meetings, cooking and waiting for the pool water to clear up. Oh, and watching my positions print money. And then another pretty remarkable one is Zachary. He was able to make over $2,389 while he was in the middle of a surgery. Now, he's had a very heavy time, both prior to the surgery as well as after that surgery, and just being able to get out of that narcosis, spot his wallet balance with those fees from the strategy that added up a $300 to his balance is just remarkable for somebody like him. I want to clarify, Zachary didn't end up being the lucky guy or whatever. He shows up every single week. He's the one that makes it to all of the sessions. We're showing up, asking questions, doing our thing. He just gets rewarded for the effort paired with the proven vehicle we have. So if at this point of the video you still think my income relies on where the prices are going, that's not true. My money comes from transactional volume on a 24/7 time span. It doesn't matter whether the markets are glowing green or bloody red. As long as there's transactions happening, there are fees that are getting paid, people to help, and cuts that we can actually generate. If you wonder what the actual risk looks like, well, there's two risks. Either you're getting profit on the side and losing opportunity, or you're losing money at the bottom of your position at this lower boundary if you're not taking action. And usually after backtesting all of these strategies, we retain them for 2 to 3 months straight. So essentially this comes down to 2 to 3 hours of work a week where you monitor your positions, where you take a look at, am I still within those lines? Are my positions still going for it? And besides that core narrative, we have another bunch of strategies that allow you to stay neutral within a market that keeps moving so you can keep making money. If you wonder who's holding your money, nobody, not me, not a platform, not anyone. It is just generally coming down to the blockchain. The blockchain has a certain set of tools and smart contracts that allow regular people like yourself and myself to make money online without a middleman. And if you've been burned before, just like myself, this is the whole reason we're so huge about security and self-custody. You are the only owner, and that is never going to change. So at this point in time, you should be able to see the clues of the success, not just my trips to Tomorrowland, but also the results of Frank, 65 years old, or a guy like Zachary. If you want to see more results on video besides written form, go to www.freedomacademy.be/reviews. You'll be able to see full long interviews of me and my students covering the success. And the biggest burning question I'd have is, if they can all do it, why not you? And as a matter of concluding this entire video, there's only going to be one way to figure out whether this is for you or not, which is to go down below this video to book your free brainstorm call right now. I'm known to be pretty chill. I don't eat people. The goal of this whole call is just to get to know you better, talk a little bit more about what you have been trying to achieve, look at what your goal is, eventually what held you back, and then in the worst case, we end up figuring out that this is not for you. You end up with more knowledge, clarity, and insights than you joined the call. And in the best case, we could figure out that this is a potential match for both of us and help you without all the headaches, the losses, and everything that's involved. Talking about losses, if you want to learn about my almost decade of experience in crypto, there's a video with my 25 hardest lessons I ever learned. And if you didn't do it yet, make sure to subscribe to the channel. And that is exactly how you go from always working harder for money to letting your money work harder for you.